in everything in life, especially death, like there's these are they're not going anywhere. These challenges aren't going to move. Like death isn't going to be like, all right, well I like your attitude, so I'll leave now. Welcome back to the Men's Adventure Fiction Podcast, everybody. I am here with the great Nathaniel Hummel. Appreciate being here with you with that pop collar. I'm a lucky guy. This is going to be a fun conversation. It's going to be a fun day talking Men's Adventure Fiction. How are you today?
I'm good, dude. After talking about capes last episode for Swashbuckling September's send-off, Swashbuckling September and October, never miss a chance to swashbuckle. I was thinking, dude, I should just pop my collar. This is also, if this was yellow and I was wearing a tie, this would be very similar to Spike Spiegel's fit in all of Cowboy Bebop. Dude, we weren't taking this episode anywhere particularly, but let's ask this question. When it comes to characters, series characters for you, do you like when they have kind of a uniform that they wear consistently, or do you like to see some variance? Because I noticed... Go ahead.
I like variance, but what did you notice?
I noticed that it's either they always wear exactly the same thing, or they never wear the same thing. Did you ever notice that? I think it's just like movie budgets is that they never have a character wear the same outfit twice. But I was thinking, dude, if I'm Nate Colt, IRL, in real life, for those of you who don't know what that means, I would have like favorite staple pieces that I would always wear, just like I do IRL in real life. Like this jacket, I wear this jacket all the time. So I think that it would be cool to have kind of a combination of the two, where you got like, this is the third episode in a row where I've seen that sick biker jacket. You're wearing that biker leather jacket, but in the first part of the first episode, you were wearing it with like a suit and tie. The next, you're wearing it with the old tank. And then another, you're wearing it with like a Henley and a pair of aviators. Yeah. You know, like I think that would be cool to kind of like feather in, like, oh, this is like a signature piece that he wears with varying stuff. And there's a bunch of signature pieces.
Definitely IRL in real life. The pinstripe pants for me are like a staple. I wear those like 3 times a week, dude. And like to your point, sometimes it's with the suit. Like today when I go to church, I'll be wearing it with a suit. But then the next day I'll be wearing it. Like yesterday, I wore it with a Henley, long sleeve Henley that I rolled up. It has like the little strap that comes up on the button.
Oh, nice, dude! A classic.
Some pinstripe pants. Sometimes the tanky, dude. Sometimes the tanky in a suit. Like there's ways to do it to keep the pinstripe pants alive, but they're probably my biggest staple, is the pinstripe pants. I gotta fix this whole head situation.
Yeah, dude. I agree. I feel like I've got a good deal of pants. Like I'm a big pants guy, but I always end up wearing like 4 of the like 15 pairs of pants that I have, you know, because you get locked into like, these are just the sickest pants I own. And that is what Men's Adventure is all about. Really.
That's what this episode is all about, dude. The pants of Men's Adventure Fiction. So if you were here for anything else other than an hour-long discussion on pants, then you're in the wrong place, my friend.
Yeah, dude, I have this one sick pair of pants. My favorite color is green, but it's kind of hard to wear green all the time.
Yeah, it looks too Christmassy to do it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Especially you bust out white or red and you're cooked, dude. It's over. But I have 2 pairs of green pants, and both of them are like way too tight. I don't know if my legs just got thicker or they shrunk a little bit, but I remember wearing them and I was like, bro, I can't. These are not comfortable at all. And so I went to the old Goodwill a couple months ago now, and I found the sickest pair of pants of all time. They have like somewhat of a military looking vibe, but they're just like perfect. You can dress them up, you can dress them down, you can do whatever you want with them. So yeah, don't I was thinking about this too. We eventually will circle back to doing another like style episode, but man, it's crazy that people are out here spending like hundreds of dollars on one single article of clothing, especially when you factor in the fact that like society has really gone into like, oh, wear vintage, wear stuff that lasts. and then they're going to these like highbrow vintage places and spending like $150 on a 60-year-old piece of clothing that's like, or the craziest stupid stuff I've ever heard in my entire life. This one guy literally like splatters paint on jeans, and then on vintage jeans, so he ruins the jeans by splattering paint on them, and then he sells them for like $1,500. It's so stupid. So, but I digress.
That's a shame. That's a real shame, dude. Very depressing stuff.
Dark stuff. Let me ask you.
When you're on vacation, I have a question for you. You don't ask me stuff. I ask you stuff, buddy. You're going on vacation. Are you going to be reading anything? Or are you going to be bringing anything with you to enjoy as like a reader, or no?
I'm not sure. I think I'll be diving in a little bit to Mitch Mayhew 2, Diamonds in Denver, because that is truly a fantastic piece of literature right there. So I'll definitely be reading that. I think I'm also going to be working on, because I'm a psycho and I got to keep rocking and rolling, but I'm going to be working on editing the next Nate Colt story and really polishing that up.
Gotcha.
I've found that if I let myself slack too much, I have a really bad, well, it's whatever senioritis is, but for life in general, where I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff to video edit, so I'll be working on that too. I think my wife was like, "You're overcommitted to too much stuff. You're going to be working on vacation." I was like, I want to do fun stuff on vacation, right? Like, we're not going on any hikes because we're going to be at the beach. So let me at least like bring my computer and enjoy some mental hiking, as they say.
Some men's adventure fiction.
What about you? What have you been reading?
I'm just like you, where we've just been the workhorses of all workhorses right now, kind of getting things ready for releases. So I've been reading a lot of Veritas books, which is great, but I mean, cool. I'm not like reading for enjoyment or pleasure lately. I bought a book recently, but I read like one chapter, maybe two chapters of it so far. So I have not gotten to the point where I can pleasure read. That's kind of why I asked you, are you going to be able to read on vacation? But it sounds like no vacation, no rest for the weary on Team Veritas here right now. So.
I actually probably will. I got a bunch of sick paperbacks I got a few sick paperbacks at Polefest, and I got a couple sick ones at an antique store near me. They were like $2 or $1.50 or something like that. So I'll bring those bad boys. So thanks for reminding me. That's a good idea.
Vacation's a great time for it.
Also, dude, going to absolutely lock in, and for like the 6th time over, I'm going to restart the Matt Helm series, because I've been just hankering for some like 60s, 50s, 60s high spy action. And those books are so cool. There's specifically one, and I don't know which one it is, but I saw the cover for it, and they had like a sick illustration on the cover, and I was like, man, that's cool. It looks like he's like going downstairs, and there's guys on either side of him. I was like, wait a minute, that happens in one of these books. I was like, now there's just no way that this could be the book that happens in, right? But it's so sick, dude. He's like in this diplomat suite kind of thing, and he's trying to meet with somebody, and he gets in there, and the dude's been killed, and he's in a different country. He's like, dang, boys, I'm the patsy. This is not good news. And so he goes to get down the stairs, and a guy comes from behind him, and a guy's at the bottom of the stairs, and he's got to fight him on the stairs, one from behind, one from in front, dude. And it's so sick. And Matt is they say that he's the king of sniping. I think he's the king of bladed weapons. And he's got this, like, it's not even like a switchblade or anything. It's just a clasp knife, like a regular, like you always talk about buck knives. It's something similar to a buck knife, but he does this super cool trick where he grabs it by the blade and flips it open, or maybe he flips it down like this. And everybody's like, as soon as they see that, they're like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And he always says, because it's self-narrated, he's like, there's really no point in doing that other than it's a little faster, but it makes people a little more intimidated, so that's why I do it. It's like, dude, this is the stuff. If you want to get into the head of a secret agent for real, I mean, he's obviously not a real secret agent, but that book, I feel like, obviously I'm not a spy or anything, and I never will be.
To our knowledge.
But those books, I feel like you could actually, if you had those as kind of like your working manual for for how to be a secret agent, you could probably learn a lot of stuff. He's got some really cool... I mean, he's the guy that I always talk about. He keeps his pistol out of a holster on his left hip because he can get at it better with both hands, and he can just dispose of it a lot easier. It's just like, it's so cool to have an author who's thinking about stuff like that. Like, oh, well, this is what an old professional in the game would know, and this is how he would think. And it's like, dude, it's so sick. So...
Yeah, man, at Pulp Fest we were getting told about that one series where the dude takes only baths because it's like, I'll get snuck up on this shower. I'll get killed because of the sound.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, dude, yeah, these guys are thinking, dude. These guys
I forgot about that.
It's so like cool. war gaming and books go hand in hand. Do you read some stuff and you're just, dude, yeah, I never thought about that. I should definitely take less showers if I want to get my my assets coming after me, dude.
Or you need the shower gun, dude, is what you need. I saw something about that.
Oh, yeah, the shower gun. Now, some people
like
have a shower beer. We have shower guns, dude.
Yeah, it's like it was a 38 special, or like a really small 357 Magnum in like a waterproof container. So you just open that puppy up and just start blasting through the glass.
Awesome.
Dude, something we haven't talked about at all before we get into the actual topic is we did a little sneak attack on you guys. Now, you may be familiar with the old weak man to strong man Doc Veritas commercial. Humbly, might I say, the greatest commercial ever filmed. And that's as humble as I can be. I mean, and fully objective as well.
Yeah,
fantastic work.
Not close to the material at all. So
no.
Very objective.
But like I said, I don't know if I said this on air. When I show that to my 3-year-old daughter, she's like, "Daddy, is this the one where the man becomes you?" And it's like, honestly, one of the nicest things I could ever hear, because she doesn't recognize the dweeby guy who is like a weak man, literally called weak man. So super kind of her to think that I'm a stud. Awesome. But dude, also here's a little insider trading for you guys. If you're ever having a conversation with somebody through text or other chains, and they start saying some super out-of-pocket stuff, all you have to do is drop that screenshot of Doc Veritas looking at them like this, saying, "Yikes," and you'll win the argument. That's the unknown benefits of Veritas Entertainment. So check that out. Try that next time. Next time you're having an argument with your wife, toss that one out there. See, that one will definitely work for sure.
Just print out a copy of it and pull that thing out. Yikes! Every time.
But what I was getting after is, in the back of this bad boy is a little something. Let's see if I can find it.
Plot twist, I didn't put it in there. Just kidding.
Dude, The Adventures of Dr. Veritas? What could that be? I don't know. It looks like 5 pages in the back of this book. Do you think maybe for those who have the Killers from Yellow Rock, it might take up another 5 pages in the back of that one? Could it be?
There might be something to that, dude.
Dude,
are you telling me?
I may not know. This is just a guess. Are you saying that there is a serialized Dr. Veritas story being written in all of the mainline Veritas Entertainment books?
This is potentially true. We can't confirm or deny, but if you find yourself reading a Veritas book, you may see a Dr. Veritas saga unfolding before you.
Too sick, dude.
In the back of our Veritas releases, which is...
There you go.
Beautiful.
So remember how you were like, I don't have time to read another book. I don't want to buy another book from Veritas Entertainment. Well, now you've got an unfolding saga that you are forced. You're gonna have to buy the next book, dude. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Super cool. By the end
of it, dude, you'll have
a whole book?
second book within however many books it takes to get through the Doc series. So you'll get some bonus books, dude. Big
props to Terrence Leahy, because he posted something and he was like, dude, in the Discord, he was like, there should be a house character that people in Veritas can write if they want to. And at the same time that he did that, I had been thinking, like, we should do something with Doc Veritas more than just make the cool videos. But I had not come upon an idea. And as soon as he said that, I was like, dude, this is just like... So the serials that we all know and love, they were exactly the same thing. They would come before the big movies, or after the big movies. And so you would stick around and watch them, and you'd have the whole story unfold every week throughout the thing. So we wanted to really harken back to the absolute fantastic epicness that was the serials and bring that to the page for you guys. So if you enjoy that, check it out. It will be an unfolding story, and it'll be super cool. So very excited about that.
So starts in the heart of Alexandria, picks up in Killers from Yellow Rock.
Yep, and then we'll pick up after that in Mitch Mayhew 2 Diamonds in Denver, I believe. So very exciting. If you want... It's like, oh, this is what I was going to say. Did you ever, when you were a kid, you would buy, like, the action figures, and they would have, like, the arm of a guy that you could only buy if you bought, like, all 15 action figures, and it would build, you'd be able to build a character? Did you ever see that?
Oh, I never saw that. That's crazy. I've definitely, like, seen where on the back you see the other ones in the collection. You're like, dude, I want that. Dude. But I don't know
That's
the...
cool. Yeah, dude, it's super sick.
Guys, piece by piece.
Yeah, usually it would be, like, when an Avengers movie came out, you would buy, like, Captain America and Iron Man and Hawkeye, and each one would have, like, a piece of Thanos or something like that. Whoa. And so by the end, dude, you would, if you got all the Avengers, you'd have their enemy, too. So it's super cool. So that's kind of similar.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
I digress. Cool.
We can jump it's not cool for my wallet if I have kids, but that is a cool concept. You get all the toys and you get his bad guy.
Well, the worst part, too, is that, I don't know how you were as a kid, but I was never like, oh, I want to buy the nerdy superhero or the girl superhero. I was like, no, dude, just give me the cool superhero. And then
I just wanted one or two guys.
Like, yeah, you'd buy like two of the cool
America,
superheroes.
Give me Thor, that's it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, well, now I've got the right arm of Thanos and the leg. What do I do now? It sucks.
What do I do with this?
So this is, I guess that's the one flaw in the Doc Veritas serialized thing, is you may see one of the books, like, I don't want that book, and then and you're like,
I don't read that. The missing chunk of the story.
You're like, what happened? How did we get here? He's in a totally different world. Like, there's not even this. He's not even in this one until the end. What's going on? But let's jump into the actual topic of this episode. Do you want to lay it on him, or you want me to lay it on him?
You can lay the topic out so I know how we're talking about the topic. So cool. You can kind of run the ship here.
Just call me Captain for the rest of the episode.
Aye, Cap.
We wanted to talk about, in light of recent news, kind of, I think for Luke and I, and we've talked about it in passing a bunch of times, but we wanted to dedicate a whole discussion to it because I think it's really important for each of us who are involved in Veritas and any person who's a writer, but just for every single man, woman, and child, is kind of the concept that Beau L'Amour brought to the table of the writing was the least of his father, right? And Louis L'Amour is hands down one of the best authors of all time. He is literally number 30 on the top 100 best-selling authors in history. So, I mean, that guy is a writer, literally best writer action, you know. And so for his son, which especially, I mean, just think of how difficult it is to find good father-son relationships at all. But then imagine a guy who's famous and also significantly older than Beau was. I think he said he was around 50 when he had his first kids. To be one of the best writers, a famous person, and the least of him was that. That is just incredible to hear, and it's something to strive for. So we wanted to kind of talk about legacy and what you leave on in the world throughout life. So if you want to fill in on the news, you talked about it on your Instagram, so if you may already have seen it. But
yeah, I mean, first off, that thing I think that Louis L'Amour, like Beau L'Amour said about Louis, definitely stuck with us and stuck out, and I remember us talking about that, and it's never left us. I think we both really, really like that resonated. So I'm excited to be able to unpack it and have an episode about it. If you guys haven't seen the Beau L'Amour 2-parter, definitely do that. I mean, he's just an absolute treasure of wisdom sitting there.
A lost treasure.
Yeah, dude, a lost treasure sitting there.
Not really. He's not lost,
but it was this guy and his puns. Just can't let me get through my set.
You've got Beau L'Amour Lost Treasures Volume 1 is the first episode. Volume 2 is the... Alright, sorry. I digress.
You son of a gun. But either way, that episode is a treasure trove, dude. You will... a lost treasure trove. You will get lost in the amount of wisdom you have to write down on paper trying to listen to that episode and juice it for everything it's worth. But essentially, what Nathaniel's referring to is... I've got this congenital heart defect. I'm sure we've talked about it on here. I was born with this heart condition, and I've had 2 open heart surgeries and stuff for it, and they put stents in my heart a couple of years ago. But I've just been living with this and been on this journey, and Monday, a couple Mondays ago, probably for when this episode comes out, a couple Mondays ago, I went in for a stress test, which is where you run on the treadmill, and they have this mask on your face and everything like that. You got electrodes hooked up to you.
Daniel Craig in Skyfall, kind of?
Yeah, you look like Daniel Craig from Skyfall. I think probably exactly like that, because I think he's probably doing a stress test. But you look like Daniel Craig from Skyfall. And spoiler alert, I did not do as good as Daniel Craig in Skyfall.
Well, he actually failed, I think. So
okay, but I failed worse. Because they handed me heart failure medication, and they did not do that to him. So, yeah, what happened was, I ran the same distance of time. So I thought I did well. I was texting Nathaniel, nailed it. Crushed it.
This was easy.
Not a problem, dude. Amazing. I did better than last time. So subjectively, and they even said that, they're like, the subjective stuff's pretty good. Objectively, no, it's not as good. All of the, objective data went down for, VO2 max and stuff like that. And this lady, this heart doctor I have, has been saying heart failure and liver failure are inevitable. So they've been telling me that. I've just been the master of denial, and we'll get into that. My whole life I've been able to hold on to, that's those guys, dude. They don't read enough men's adventure fiction, and they don't do enough push-ups. I'm going to be fine. But this was the first time where they were like, no, heart failure has actually started, here you go. And they handed me this medication. So yeah, it sucked. It was bad news, and... I guess it is perfect timing for us to be... it's why we want to be talking about legacy and things like that. So that is the news that I got. And I'm on this new heart medication that's for heart failure, and it makes you pee a lot. So there's that.
Dude, that's brutal. It can't even help you out in any way. They should make life bad all around. Not only was it bad news, you also have to pee all the time. Ain't right, dude.
Dude, in movies, what am I going to do for long movies? Not pee. Yeah. I'm gonna pee my pants. I'll wear diapers, dude. I don't care.
Gotta bring a little something with it to the movie theater.
This just in: local author arrested for peeing in the theater. That's my legacy.
That's the legacy you want, dude. There's one way to get instant fame, and I think we know what it is. Dude, your sales will spike. They'll be like, "What was this guy writing? That taking a leak in the theater was a good idea." Super sad news. As much as we're laughing, very, very difficult. I know you said that it was tough with your wife and kids talking about it and kind of processing through all that. And I remember talking with my wife about it, and it was like, it's just crazy. I mean, I think that it is, not to get super morbid, but...
Oh, we're going to get morbid, I feel like. This episode we had to.
We'll get morbid, but not morbidly obese.
It's true.
Sorry, it has nothing to do with anything. I can't handle thinking about dark stuff without making jokes left and right. So, sorry, bear with me. But on the heels of the Charlie Kirk stuff, and then this, it's like death is very real, and I think super interesting for all of it to happen during Swashbuckling September, where the whole concept is swashbucklers laugh in the face of danger, right? And the world is getting more dangerous, the world is getting more dark, and I think that it is crucial that as men, as individuals, as people in general, you can either let that kill you and break you down and make you a twisted, sad person, or you can realize that, like, life isn't that serious, right? Like, I'm gonna die. I can let that cripple me and kill me immediately, or I can laugh in the face of danger, laugh in the face of death. I was just talking with my brother. I was making fun of golf. Sorry if you like golf. And he dropped on me that pure ironing during golf is one of his top 10 best feelings ever. And I was like, bro, what? And so I was thinking about it very heavily. And I think the number one best feeling that I've ever had is the moment after I have cheated death. And it's happened, I don't know, a dozen times, maybe more, maybe less. And there's nothing quite like that. Sometimes it's by luck or by God's blessing exclusively. And that time it doesn't feel very good. That time it's like, bro, how am I so stupid? How did this almost happen? Why did I do this? And then there's other times where it's just like a moment of reflex, a moment of action. And you're like, man, this is cool. I actually have some skill behind my stupidity. Like, I got myself in a bad situation, but I was able to get myself out of it. And that is, for me, one of the coolest feelings ever. And so I think that that's kind of what you don't realize is every single day we're cheating death, right? And I think that that's been something that's been really good about getting to know you. And this will actually be airing the day before my birthday, I believe. And I'll be turning 28. And it's like, 28 is young. I know a lot of people are watching this like, dude, you're only 28? I thought you were 40. That's what all the people I train always tell me. Bastards.
40? What the heck?
Which works well because I play it like, Sal's supposed to be 40-something, 47, 48 in the horror film we did, which is okay. But I digress. But every time my birthday comes around, I want to be young. I want to be handsome. I want to be in good shape. I want to have a full head of hair for the rest of my life, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's just not the case. Every year, you get a year older, you get a year closer to death. I mean, and that is true for everybody. It's not true for people who have the congenital heart defects like you do. It's true for every single person. Truthfully, and I keep thinking about this, like we've been thinking about you dying because this just happened, but it's like, bro, I could literally get in a car accident tomorrow and be completely gone. It's like, I could be the sneak attack death. Everybody's like, oh, Luke's going out, and then I just die in a car accident, you know, like anything is possible. And I think that can either, like I said before, it can either cripple you to the point of like you're already dead, right? I think, what is it that the quote is like, a brave man only dies once, but a coward dies a million times, or something like that, right? Like, if you were gonna let your fear take you out of the game, then you might as well just be dead already.
Yeah, well said. The swashbuckling connection, it was good timing, because people think like, oh, laughing in the face of death, like that's not realistic, or you're not taking death seriously. It's like that's like immature in some ways. Like, I think people knee-jerk reaction to thinking that's somehow like silly, and we've evolved past that, and that's like a juvenile idea, like laughing in the face of death. But it's not like it's not laughing because it's like, you know, you don't take death seriously, or you don't understand the weight or the gravity. It's just like, in everything in life, especially death, like they're not going anywhere. These challenges aren't going to move. Like, death isn't going to be like, all right, well, I like your attitude, so I'll leave now. It's like, it's going to be there. So,
or like, I really scared you. I'm not going to kill you for another 30 years or something.
Right. Like, these things are here, and they're immovable, and you have to face them. So to me, I'd rather face something with joy and a fun attitude rather than have to face it anyway and be miserable. You know what I mean? Like, why would I choose to be poopy pants about this and then die, or be happy and then die? Because guess what? In both scenarios, you die. Like, there's nothing you can do about that part. So I like the swashbuckling tie-in.
It's the Jay Benny philosophy, dude. Remember, I was telling one of my oldest friends from where I live now, when I started working at the gun shop we just were at a desk across from each other, just staring at each other for 8 hours a day. It was great, and we became really good friends. And then he got a job at the company I work at, so I got to train him. We were just driving around for another 8-10 hours during the day, and we were talking about kind of the concept Luke just brought to the table. And he said his wife will be like, Like, how are you handling this bad news so well? And he was like, well, I just got bad news. I don't want to be sad on top of that. It's like, bro, that is genius. That is so smart. I can't believe you unlocked it.
That's right there, dude.
Well, it's what you said. It's so true. It's like, I am going to die. And I can either die happy, or I can die sad. I can die doing the things that I love, or I can die like wasting away, worrying that I'm dying, you know? And I think it's similar to, there's so many things in life, right, that you, from a base spot, you see it and you're like, okay, that person has no idea what they're doing. Like a primo example that I've referenced before is the silencer suppressor debate, right? If you hear somebody call a gun a silencer, most gun people are fairly, I don't know what the term is. It's not like they know a lot about stuff and they want to make sure that terms are being used correctly.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it's not a silencer. It's a suppressor. But then
Right.
you've got the other segment of people who know so much about gun stuff that they know that the guy who patented the silencer named it the silencer. So the official patent for suppressors are silencers. In like the early 2000s, the gun community was like, okay, well, we can't keep calling them silencers because everyone thinks that they actually make stuff silent and they're used exclusively for killing people, and that's not the case. So they changed it to suppressor and really pushed that in there, which it's honestly just a rebrand.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here. It's like you see a young kid who laughs in the face of danger and does stupid stuff for stupid stuff's sake, and you're like, okay, well, they're just an idiot. And then you see someone maybe a little older or maybe the same age, and you see them do the same things, but what you don't realize is that they've looked death in the face hundreds of times, and they have understood and locked in that, like, I'm going to die. I'm fully conscious of that. I have processed that. I went through the mourning phase of my own life before it happened, and I am now able to look death in the eyes and laugh back at it. You know, it's the same thing. Like, you either are stupid from an ignorant place, or you are incredibly intelligent and shifted because you know already. You know what I mean? And I think that's like you said, there's certainly, if handled the wrong way, laughing in the face of danger is immature. But if handled in the right way, I think it's the best way to live. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I agree. There's just so much wisdom and so much freedom that comes from you accepting death and living close to death. And every kind of philosopher talks about this. Memento mori and stuff gets thrown around on the internet. I think people talk about it a lot, and it's like, but I don't know how much they truly let that practically happen or actually face that.
Yeah, for real.
I was lucky enough to have to face it, a bunch of times. Like, it's become super integrated. I've lived close to death for a while.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've said to a few people now, I think I've mentioned this to you once, like, for me, genuinely not afraid to die myself. Like, I am good to die whenever. The hard part that I can't figure out, and this is the legacy concept, is like when you leave everybody else behind, I feel bad that they're going to be sad. But for me personally, dude, I'm okay. You know what I mean? And since I will die sometime, and this will be on video, like, my son might see this, and it's like, trust me, anybody who's sad, don't be. Because I'm fine with being gone, and everything is okay for me now. So don't worry about that. I think the faster that they can move on, the better for me. You know what I mean? Because why? I don't want to leave a legacy of pain and sadness and all that in the emptiness. I want to leave something that is better than that and, like, motivates and helps,
Yeah, dude.
Bring people up.
Well said. Yeah. Yeah, I think, both of us are Christians, so we have the hope and the faith of our lives will continue and we'll be reunited with our families. And so that's super exciting, but I think, and this is the other thing too, if you don't have that hope, then, and this is your only chance to exist, then it's even, I would say, probably even more crucial to live life to the fullest. I mean, here, as a Christian, I think that it is my responsibility to God and to myself to live life to the fullest, to reach people with the love of God and help them. And I mean, this is what we've talked about this before. as a Christian, my goal is the only reason I ever want someone else to become a Christian is because I 100% believe that it is the way, the truth, and the life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it because I want other people to think like me. There's no ego in it. It's literally just like, this is what I believe, and this is my faith, and it would be a disservice. If I like you, I would be a terrible person if I wasn't like, hey, I think you should know Jesus, because otherwise I think it's going to go very poorly for you. But I digress from that. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have any hope in the future, right? If you think dead, screen returns to black, then that is the ultimate call to action to make every single moment count to the fullest, right? Because
right.
to Luke's point, to my point, you could die in 10 minutes. You could spontaneously combust, for Pete's sake. Like, anything could happen. So I think that for everybody, it is super important to do that. And I think that it's also important, and this gets into the legacy conversation, is like, nobody wants to go into the unknown and never be remembered, you know? Like, I think that you want people to remember you, and you want them, when they think of you, you don't want them to be like, I'm glad that guy's dead. That's got to be one of the worst things that you could ever imagine. You're in heaven, and that, like, you get a text message on your heavenly phone, and it's like 6 people are thinking that they're glad you're dead right now. It's like, bro, that would be brutal. I'd be bummed out. I wouldn't be, because I'd be in heaven, but you know what I'm saying. How do you think that thought has shaped you? Like, what do you feel like? Do you have kind of a goal or an operating procedure to try and leave a legacy behind?
Yeah, when I was younger, I think like a lot of younger people probably, had this kind of inflated sense of like legacy and thinking,
yeah,
I want to be remembered. You know what I mean? Like, when you
right.
think of that, it's like, I've come to a place where, give it 2-3 generations, people are going to forget completely about me, and I'm okay with that. What I care more about when I say I care about my legacy and things like that, it's not some far-reaching, I want to be the next Hemingway so you remember me forever. Like, not what I mean. What I mean is kind of like a report card on life would be your eulogies and your obituaries and the stories told at your funeral, like that stuff is what I think about.
Dude, that's super cool.
What are people going to have to say about you standing up there during your funeral? Like, what are people going to write about you in the obituary? You know what I mean? If you can't find one nice word to say about me, and you're like, I'm not going to that guy's funeral, that says something about how I lived and who I am and things like that. So those are the legacy pieces that drive me on. It's like, what do I want my eulogy to be? What do I want my obituary to read like? So that's how I look at it.
Oh, that's super cool. That's really smart. Yeah, I still have probably too much inflated sense of ego where I like, dude, this is going to sound super arrogant, so sorry if you hate me after this, fair enough, but it would be so sick to have a statue made after us. Like, you and me by myself, I don't care, but a statue would be sick, dude, and I'll be like holding a sword, wearing that cape, dude. Fire.
Outside of like a movie theater or something? Or where you want this?
I don't know.
Where's your statue going to be?
I was thinking, like,
Washington, D.C.
on top of every building. I'm just kidding.
Move Abraham Lincoln's statue to the left a little bit.
Yeah, get that guy out of here. Actually, recarve the Lincoln statue.
Into Nathaniel, let me say.
Well, I just think about, like, one of my favorite characters of all time, who is a real person, is David, dude. And obviously, I don't think I want to be sculpted in the nude. Not what I want at all. But I think that that's just so cool to have, like, these, like, that guy lived a life that was so impactful that, like, 3,000 years later, people are like, I'm going to sculpt David. Like, 350 times. There's going to be, like, 350 different David sculptures. And I think that that's, and this gets back to what we talked about before, where we talked about, like, dreams and stuff like that, is it's like, there's people who are more than happy, their dream is to get a nice house in a neighborhood and have a dog and kids, and that is super sick, and I applaud you for that, and also for for that being enough and I pray every day that it is enough for me, because like you said, there's very little chance that anyone remembers us after 3 generations. I mean, I feel like even some of the most famous authors of all time aren't remembered. Like all of the guys from the pulp era who were making money to live. I mean, nobody knows who Donald Hamilton is, and he's probably the second most famous spy author, or maybe third or fourth, but like in the James Bond kind of genre. Like if you look up who's similar to James Bond, he is the first guy that pops up. And if I said his name to probably 9 or 15 people on the street, nobody would know who he is. So I think that that's even the same thing. But it's like, there is inside of me for sure, and there always has been kind of the idea of like, oh, I've got to help the world in some way, you know? And I don't think it'll happen. And I think that it's been something. I've talked about it before. I have a very strained relationship with my dad, and he says a lot of stuff that I don't agree with. But one of the most impactful things that he ever said to me, and probably one of the nicest things he ever said for me, as we were talking about this, and I was very young. I was probably like early teens, and I was talking about the concept of like, Dad, don't you want to change the world? Like, don't you want to leave a big impact behind? Don't you want to have some sort of like notoriety to your name? And he said something like, what I actually would like, and what I've realized would be fine, is if I was the one who raised you and you changed the world, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think as I've grown, I've realized that that's like super impactful, you know? Like, I need to stop thinking on, okay, I'm about to be 28. I've only got like maybe 50, 60 years left of my life to change the world, and realize that I have 2 beautiful daughters who are 3 and 8 months old. And it's like, I can instill in them a love for storytelling, a love for Jesus, a love for freedom and liberty and action and being people of action, that it may not be me that changes the world, but it may be them. It may be their sons or daughters. It may be my great-great-grandchildren. I mean, and I think, to whatever you think of Will Smith, I really don't care about him at all or think about him at all. But I mean, King Richard is a primo example of that, right? Like, that's a biopic on the father of Serena and Venus Williams, who are super impactful people, but they didn't write the movie about them. They wrote it about their dad. So it's like, not that I want my daughters to become like super famous and be like, yeah, but now it's about me. Make the statue about me making these girls famous. But I think that's impactful, you know, like, and it shows that the father's legacy that he can have, and it really, I think that shifted my mind. It was like, okay, stop being such a prideful dick and start thinking about like how you are going to be able to instill stuff in people so that your legacy isn't like, oh, Nathaniel was super cool, didn't take care of his family at all though, but he did cool stuff, you know. So I think that's
I think that's the point, is like the making sure the small legacy of the family memories around the fire after you're gone are worth some substance, just like Bo Lamore saying, well, the writing was the least of them. I don't want it to be like, yeah, that was just like a really fearful, anxious, depressed guy because he knew he was going to die, and it wasn't really fun to be around. He was always busy with work, and he used to yell a lot about like deadlines and stuff like that, and then I don't want that to be, you know what I mean, like the
what's the deadline?
that's kind of what, like, I want to, you know, make sure I'm focusing on living my life in a way that's fostering good relationships with the people closest to me, and dude, not only for them and the memories and like the legacy, but also, like you said, like this is our chance here on Earth to get together and enjoy these moments. So, to my concept of, well, yeah, the end is what the end is going to be for me and for everybody watching. It's like, let's not focus on that. Let's be here and now, and soak up this moment and soak up what we got here.
Dude,
make the most of it.
Yeah, I think too a lot about that. It's like making the most of it. I think also shifts into something that I feel is super important to the legacy that I leave behind. Is I do not want to make any of my children or any of my friends or anybody that I know feel like they have to make the overall safe decision, like the safe bet, and not follow their heart. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the heart can like mess you up and lead you the wrong way and stuff like that. But I think somehow, somewhere along the line, my parents did a really good job of being like, yeah, you can pursue the things you're interested in, and that's why I'm here writing, and that's why I went to school for filmmaking, because it wasn't like I never got any of the things like, oh no, you actually should forsake your passions and make sure you get a job in like accounting because that'll pay the bills. They were always like, you are capable and I believe in you, pursue the things that you love. And so I never want either of my daughters to be like, oh, dad didn't think I was going to be able to do it, and he was like, oh, definitely hedge your bets, pick the safe option, go to the school that's going to give you the biggest scholarship, and only do things that are going to guarantee money. You know, I want them to feel free to pursue their dreams and not be like you always say, don't let your stories die with you. I don't want them to feel like that's what I was telling them to do. So,
right, yeah, you gotta live in a way that's an example too. You know what I mean? Like I think I have a good opportunity to show my kids, especially like if I last long enough for them to be not babies, I could show them that like someone who is consciously aware that they're like dying can still be happy and live full life, and so they don't have like a fear of death. Because I do think there's like a good portion of people who are just so afraid of death that it really does impact a lot of their life and holds them back a lot and makes them at least like way more depressed than they ought to be. So I hope to show like a good model of dealing with the hard stuff. You know what I mean?
Dude, for sure. And also, I think that reminded me of a good thought that I was having too. It's like, you're doing a really good job. I don't know if anyone's told you this, and I don't live in your house and with your family, but you do a really good job of fully pursuing your family and taking care of them, and also pursuing your dreams to bring Veritas to life, you know? And I think that that's like the balance between work and life, and because that's at the end of the day, right? We don't want to teach our children that, oh, these deadlines, this job, this passion of mine is more important than you. But we also don't want to teach them that you need to forsake all of your dreams and passions to do like family stuff, and to do like, I think that there's become this whole concept, and obviously I believe, and we talked about this before when you asked the question, like, what is masculinity to you in one word? What could you define it as? And I said sacrifice. So I think that at the end of the day, if it comes up between like family and your dreams, you got to drop the dreams to focus on the family 100%. No hesitation. But I think that we've gotten to that point too early, where too many people are like, oh, I'm locked in now. I have a family. I can't do anything I'm interested in. I can't be like passionate about stuff anymore. I got kids now. And it's like, no, dude, kids love to see you passionate about stuff. One of my Luelle's favorite things to see is she loves watching the short films we produce. She loves seeing me on the screen. Like she looks up, she goes, "That looks like you, Daddy." And I'm like, "That is me." She's like, "Can we watch the Daddy movie again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we could definitely do that." You know, so it's like, what have I robbed my daughter of by deciding that, oh, I have kids, I can't do anything cool anymore, you know? And so I think that that's super important. And like that's exactly what you said, living by example.
Yeah, that's huge, because you know the days where I'm scrolling on my phone or watching something on the laptop or something, my kids are like, hey, put on freaking Peppa Pig, you know what I mean? Or you know, the days where I'm reading a book, they're both going in and pulling out every book and trying to like get me to read with them. Dude. It's like they want to do what you do, and so you chasing your dreams, showing them that like you can be present with your family, you can do that, and you know, take shots and take risks, and you don't have to just like get the 9 to 5 and quit. Like you can always keep going after your passions. You can integrate that. Like they're gonna take note of that, and they're gonna be doing that for themselves, which is definitely what you want, to your point of like creating a legacy within your own kids and letting them grow and maybe even eclipse you and have 2 statues where you only have the one. You know
Exactly, dude. I think I've coming to the age where it's like, let's get statues of my kids. Forget about it. Right? Like I could die to the statue idea. So funny. It's also like so freaking egotistical. Like, how would I like to pose for myself? I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what it was because I just got statues on my mind.
The statues, the joke threw us all off. I ruined it.
Dang it, that's too good.
A gold statue, nonetheless.
No, it's gotta be marble, dude. I can't be
Alright,
better
fine.
than David. I can't be better than King David. Are you out of your mind? Here's an idea: a gold inlaid marble, or a marble coated.
So yeah, it's all gold inside. The skeleton is gold, but outside layer is marble. No one even knows.
I wasn't
there's
thinking
gold.
about that, dude. Or like the hair and mustache are made of gold, and the rest is eyebrows too. Eyebrows. All right,
That's it, dude.
let's just drop the statue conversation.
All right.
No more.
We'll move on.
This is totally off topic, but another legacy piece I'd like to have, dude, is being known for making a badass pizza, dude. I've been making my own
The
pizza
pizza
dough and dropping some pizza. Fantastic. Bad news. That was a stalling tactic to try to remember what I was going to say. Did not work. Did not work at all. Yeah, this is... if you want to talk for a little bit, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say other than make sure you are aware that you don't have forever, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, people think they have
For sure.
so much time. They'll be like, "I'll do that next year," or "I will do that in a few months." I'll continually push back the more
I'll do
difficult
that,
stuff,
yeah.
the harder conversations, these kind of things that we can push off, we do push off. And the more you do that, the less time you have, and you don't, like Nathaniel's point, you don't know what'll sneak up on you. Who knows, dude? I could be the ultimate switcheroo, dude, where people are like, you're gonna die from this heart condition. I get freaking struck by lightning someday. You know what I mean? Like it could just totally not even be related. You have no idea what this life holds. So you just have to, day by day, tell yourself, who do I want to be? What do I have to do to make that happen? And start taking those steps now. Like, you don't have time to wait. You don't have time to be like, oh, that sounds like a good 2026 thing. I'll put that on my New Year's resolution. Like, that is not what we do. We need to start now. That's my push to people is that, like, please remember you have way, way, way less time than you think you do.
Yeah. Well said. And that is freeing, believe it or not. Like, I know it's hard to hear, and it's even harder to believe sometimes, but it is like, to Luke's point of you got way less time than you think you have, it's the reason to do it. You know, like, a lot of people are looking for permission, like, oh, I'm not ready to write my novel, I'm not ready to jump in front of the camera, and it's like, bro, fella, you could be dead tomorrow. You gotta lock and load and do it, you know? So I think that's like, it is the permission we need to start doing stuff. So well said. And I mean, thank you as someone who has been able to release 2 novels and a short story collection with you. Thanks for inspiring me to look at this guy, he's living the legacy. Thank you for inspiring me and giving me the you should get started pitch. Like, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, dude. I'm happy that in some small way I helped you kind of get the ball rolling with writing, because
I think it was a big way.
I think you're going to be the guy. You know, I think you're the men's adventure fiction guy of this generation.
You're the guy.
Pumped to know you.
Thanks, man.
Speaking of that, dude, Giacomo Ferrentino, if you guys haven't gotten it yet, this is the time as well.
Buy it for the Doc Veritas story at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah, this super somber conversation, but since we like to smile in the face of danger, there should be some laughs along the way, I think. So thank you guys for joining in for another episode. Did you have an end segment in mind?
I did not have an end segment in mind. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
All right, what's that?
What? I was thinking about this for a while. I think we should start a little book club, guy, and we can do it maybe once a month or something. But what I was thinking, and this is totally spur of the moment, but you should pick up a copy of the Big Book of Adventure Stories, and it is thick, but they're short stories, and all of you watching should also pick up a copy, and we can go through. At one point I was thinking we could do it once a week, but there's no chance. That would be a lot of work. But I think once a month we'll circle back and we'll do a little book review, book report on the short story at the end of every month. So I guess the end segment is buy the Big Book of Pulp Adventure and get ready for well, not for that was for everybody. Anyone who wants to be involved in the book.
I also don't have a copy.
It's super sick. You can find it on Amazon for pretty cheap, I think. But
yeah.
and it's also at libraries.
That's awesome. We're also gonna have a Big Book of Adventure. Maybe we'll talk about that soon, dude. At the end of this year.
Super sick,
we
dude.
got some things to drop on you. Veritas is doing some fun stuff.
Yeah, if you thought that the release schedule for this last couple of months into October was crazy, we are not done yet. We're crazier than you think. Always count on us.
Crazier than you think. Believe it.
Maybe even more foolish than you thought. So always count on us to do something you're not expecting. Although
and guys, don't ever take this as nihilistic or relax. It's all right. Don't take this as nihilistic or like, you have to give up or anything like that, because no, like for me, I'm doing 150 minutes of cardio now. I hate cardio, but it's because I'm holding on to the belief that there's something I can do. You can always do something in the face of unspeakable odds, so do that. Pick up and do what you can do. Like holding this lady off the microphone. I can do it.
Yeah, that's very well said, dude. Don't give up. I mean, that's what the men's adventure fiction philosophy is all about, dude. Those guys never give up. And if they do give up, they have their buddy kick them into gear. So get a good friend, kick you into gear.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys. Memento mori. Don't forget about it.
Right. Today could be the day. You don't know. You got to be living full. You got to be living like you're ready.
Well said, dude. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time.